Hi everyone. So, as a huge admirer of Brian De Palma, I felt like I just had to talk about Dress to Kill. I know, I just posted Blowout, but deep down I just had this energy to post another video today or tonight. But this movie, starring Nancy Allen and the legendary Michael Caine, like, even though these are like the only two actors that I recognize in this film, but they're such a huge part of what makes this movie so interesting and memorable. It's like Dress to Kill exists in its own unique genre, a neurotic crime thriller, and honestly, I don't know another film quite like it. Like this is like the only neurotic crime thriller that I know of, and this movie is so brilliant in so many ways, like standing out as one of the most intricate crime thrillers out there. But I'll say this: Dress to Kill isn't the kind of movie you throw on as a guilty pleasure, or just for the hell of it, or just for fun. But deep down, it doesn't have the same rewatch factor as other De Palma works as Phantom of the Paradise and Scarface. For Dress to Kill, you really like, to me, whenever I watch Dress to Kill, I really have to be up and have that energy to watch Dress to Kill. But for Phantom though, which I rewatched so many times, I almost felt like I had to claim it on my taxes. like 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 for Dress to Kill, you have to be in the right mood for this one when it comes to revisiting the movie. Like it's a very intense, a very specific kind of watch, and one of the crispest, cleverest crime thrillers that De Palma has ever put out. Like sure, some of the dialogue could be a bit sharper, but overall, it's a fascinatingly crafted film that highlights just how brilliant this man can be when he's at his best. Like now Brian De Palma himself, well, he's not my favorite director on the same level as my guys Christopher Nolan, Denis Villeneuve, and Steven Spielberg, but he's definitely my favorite film director that I have studied. Like it's like, even though he's a bit of a hit or miss filmmaker, but I can't help but be drawn to his approach. Like I've immersed myself in his work in a way that goes beyond simple admiration. Like I've studied his movies, and I've I've watched his interviews, and analyzed his techniques and his visual style. Like there's something so exciting to me about trying to understand his vision, even if I don't connect with every film the same way. But when I think of Brian De Palma, I think of his satirical side, like with Femme the Paradise and Hi Mom. Like even though my top two favorite Brian De Palma movies are are hands down Phantom of the Paradise and Scarface. Like Dress to Kill stands out as an essential piece of his work. Like it's one of those films that really exemplifies his style and his fearlessness as a filmmaker. And I appreciate that so much. In a way, my whole experience with De Palma has been like a long, fascinating deep dive. Like although there are still a few films that I have to watch, like I have a few more that I have to watch that I haven't seen, but I can honestly say I've had a grand time exploring his filmography and what makes him such an intriguing and intricate director. Like, even I have to mention the film score by Pino Donaggio. His is another element that really sets the mood. Like Donaggio's music heightens both the eroticism and the tension in a way that feels so unique to this movie. Like the score is mellow yet intense, and it brings out the neurotic elements in a way that only a Pino Donaggio score could. Like, I'll admit that some parts of the score don't feel like the best fit in most scenes, but when it works, it really works, especially in those moments where it adds to the psychological tension. Like, and here's something that's really fascinating to me about Brian De Palma. Like, his movies are almost always either a hit or a miss. Like, I know I've mentioned that before, but he can deliver an unforgettable genre defining films, or he can fall short of the mark, but it's like he has this boldness that doesn't always land, but when it does, it's unforgettable. Like, that's why Dress to Kill is so special in a way. Like, it's one of those movies where De Palma's bold choices really pay off. Like, this movie's intense, well directed, and deeply engaging, and I could tell that Brian De Palma did his research because he did a phenomenal job. But even though Dress to Kill may not be a favorite of mine, but deep down, it's still a good watch. It's still a good, fascinating watch. Like, like, and Nancy Allen gives a solid performance, and Michael Caine, well, he's Michael Caine. Like, his presence just adds uh, so much to the film. Like, and De Palma's vision here really proves just how skillful he is behind the camera. And speaking of intense, here's a fair warning. Like, the first 5 minutes, mm, I gotta say, when I first saw this movie, the first 5 minutes of the movie made me blush. Like I am serious. Like the first time I watched this movie, I turned so pink that, like I turned so pink, like probably pinker than Patrick Star from fucking SpongeBob. Like, thank God I was alone when I saw this shit. Like, I wouldn't have wanted to sit through this fucking movie with that opening with my mother or my grandmother, God forbid. Like, like, uh, like you all, like I could tell that horny fucker. I'll never forgive the first 5 minutes of that movie. Hell, especially the first 30 minutes of the movie. That horny motherfucker. But anyway, his fearlessness in the way that De Palma dives into the erotic elements of the story, and he does it unapologetically. Honestly, it's like the honestly, Brian De Palma is like the horniest film director in the history of cinema. Like, and Just to Kill is proof of that. Like, like if you don't believe me, watch the movie yourself. Go watch it yourself. Like, overall, there's something so distinct about the way Brian De Palma balances psychological thrill with this almost provocative, fearless style. Like, the result is that Dress to Kill feels like a deeply original film that pushes boundaries without losing its focus. Like, this movie is a fantastic example of De Palma's ability to explore desire, violence, and mystery in a way that no other director quite does. Like, like to end this, Dress to Kill is an extraordinary work and it's definitely worth a watch. Maybe not with family, don't watch this with the family, but definitely for anyone interested in a good psychological thriller that doesn't fully pull any punches. Like, this movie captures so much of what makes De Palma both challenging and rewarding to watch. Like like it is, like I said before, it may not be a favorite of mine, but it's still a good watch. And the dialogue could be better, but it is the sharpest of like it's this movie has better dialogue than Blowout. But overall, It is a good watch, and I would suggest anyone to watch this movie. Watch it alone. But overall, it's a very good film, and I enjoy this movie. It might not be a favorite of mine, but I really love this film, and the way Brian De Palma wrote this, the way he executed it is just amazing. And you know what? In other words, since I'm talking about it, I might feel like watching this movie soon, like probably soon this week or this month. But and I might write a review on Letterbox. But overall, this is a solid film, and you all should check this movie out. Like, it's a good film. You all should check it out. So, thank you everyone for watching this video. So make sure to like, subscribe, share, and make sure to follow me on Letterbox, and also like and subscribe the channel that I collaborate with my cousin Justin, which is called The Casual and the Cinephile. So I hope you all have an extraordinary cinema going adventure with this movie. Well, have an extraordinary home cinema experience with this Brian De Palma flick, because it's Brian De Palma, and I will be diving into more of his movies soon with different videos. So see you around, my fellow cinephiles.